a devastating flash flood ripped through central Texas during the 4th of July holiday, turning a day of celebration into one of the state's most tragic natural disasters in decades. Relentless storms dumped torrential rain across the Texas Hill Country, triggering rapid river rises and deadly flash floods that have so far claimed at least 13 lives and left 23 young girls missing from a popular Christian summer camp. The heaviest rainfall struck on the night of July 4th and continued into the early hours of July 5th, with some areas in Kerr and Kendall counties recording over 12 inches, 30 centimeters of rainfall in under 6 hours. The sudden deluge overwhelmed the Guadalupe River, causing it to rise more than 26 feet, 8 meters, in just 2 hours. A surge described by officials as wall-like and faster than any flood event since 1987. The National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings late on July 4th, but the water rose too quickly for many to escape. In the town of Hunt, nestled along the banks of the Guadalupe River, eyewitnesses described the sound of water crashing through the darkness like a freight train. It was like nothing we've ever seen. The water was moving at insane speeds, carrying entire trees and cars. It wasn't just flooding, it was violent, said local resident Jacob Ford, whose family barely made it out before their cabin was swept away. Flood gauges across Kerr County showed the river climbing from normal levels to historic crests in less than an hour. Emergency responders were caught off guard by the velocity and force of the water, with entire roads disappearing and bridges collapsing. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this disaster is centered around Camp Mystic, a long-standing all-girls Christian summer retreat located directly along the river. The camp was hosting over 100 girls aged 10 to 16 when the flood hit, many of whom were asleep in their cabins. Despite attempts to evacuate, the flood arrived too suddenly. Multiple cabins were washed away with campers inside. As of the morning of July 5th, 23 girls remain missing, and rescue crews fear that the current may have swept them miles downstream. We had no time. We heard the sirens and tried to move everyone uphill, but the water got to the cabins first, said one camp counselor through tears. Local, state, and federal rescue teams have been deployed to the area, including Texas Task Force 1, helicopters, K-9 search units, and dive teams. Drones are being used to scan debris fields and fallen trees along the river's edge in hopes of finding survivors. Families have gathered at a temporary reunification center in Ingram, desperately waiting for news. In response to the escalating crisis, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of emergency across the affected counties. Hundreds of homes have been flooded or destroyed. More than 40 roads remain impassable, and emergency crews are working around the clock to conduct rescues and restore essential services. Entire communities like Center Point, Hunt, Comfort, and parts of Kerrville have been cut off. Local power grids failed under the weight of the storm, and communications remain down in several rural areas. In one especially harrowing incident, a family of 4 attempted to cross a low-water bridge in Comfort and was swept away. Only one survivor was found clinging to a tree 3 miles downstream. "We're dealing with a regional catastrophe," said Chief Emergency Coordinator Alex Monroe. "This is not just a flood. This is a large-scale disaster with long-term consequences." Hydrologists and meteorologists are calling this one of the most severe floods to strike central Texas in recent memory. The Guadalupe River at Hunt reached levels surpassing the 1987 flood, which had previously been considered the region's worst in the last half-century. Preliminary data suggests that an unusual convergence of weather systems triggered the deluge. A cut-off low-pressure system stalled over west-central Texas, drawing in tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, while a ridge of high pressure to the north blocked storm movement, causing them to train over the same areas for hours. These conditions resulted in extremely high rainfall rates, in some areas exceeding 3 inches, 75 millimeters per hour, leading to flash flooding so sudden that residents had less than 30 minutes to evacuate. Thousands of residents have been forced from their homes. Shelters in Kerrville, Ingram, and Fredericksburg are housing evacuees, while Red Cross volunteers are distributing food, water, and hygiene kits. Infrastructure has been heavily damaged. Several county roads and rural bridges have collapsed. Entire neighborhoods remain underwater. And there are reports of gas leaks and contaminated drinking water in lower-lying areas. Drone footage shows entire stretches of farmland submerged, with cattle stranded or drowned. Cars are stacked like matchboxes in dry creek beds. Water lines on buildings reach nearly to rooftops.
This is crazy. Me? Wow.
So anybody, please, if you have a boat or something, I need help. I need to get my dad out
Experts
of here.
are also raising questions about whether climate change and rapid development may be exacerbating flood risks in Texas. The Hill Country has seen a surge in population and construction in recent years, with more homes being built near rivers, creeks, and low-lying terrain. When you combine intense rainfall, impervious surfaces, and poor drainage, flash floods like this become more deadly, said Dr. Lena Chavez, a hydrologist at UT Austin.
Get out of your car!
Oh my God.
Okay, my house is flooding. Anybody out there? I had my dad on